Now I'm going to make Thos a little bit jealous now because I'm in his old stamping ground of Norwich, where he was once at university. And he knows the place very well. He gets all his suits made here as well. So, but I haven't come here to buy Thos a suit because I certainly couldn't afford one of the suits that he wears. I've come here to find out more about Zombie Wedding, which is a musical zomedy. And it's actually not here in Norwich. It's going to be on in Great Yarmouth, or Gorleston, at the Gorleston Pavilion Theatre. And I'm joined here by Daniel Sturman, who is the composer and lyricist.
No, co-writer with R.C. Stubb.
Okay, all right. When you say co-writer, what's your division of labour?
Well, I suppose I wrote this show in a very sort of premature way. Then it wasn't good enough, so I seeked out to find a collaborator. Found R.C. Stubb, who's a very fine writer and lyricist, and he helped me improve the story tenfold and wrote probably 75% of the lyrics. And it's a
transatlantic collaboration because he's not from Norwich, I understand.
He's from New York, which is a far cry from Norwich.
Yes. Well, you know, I mean, there are superficial resemblances.
There are many
Nicholas
superficial.
Parsons has visited both cities, I understand, among other things.
Yeah, I guess RC and I have Nicholas Parsons.
Yeah, you'll always have Nick. So the show is on in October, and it's on the 18th and 19th at the Pavilion Theatre Gorleston, as I may have mentioned before. Just before we get into sort of the content of the show, where can we find out about it, first of all?
You can go to zombiewedding.co.uk, or you can go to our Twitter at zombie_wedding, or you can go to Facebook-zombiewedding, one word.
That's great. And also there's a Kickstarter page somewhere?
Kickstarter. If you go to Kickstarter and you go to the search bar, Zombie Wedding, and you'll find it right there.
But, dear listener, you may be asking, what incentive do I have to visit any of these places? Well, we're going to give you a little bit of a preview here. So we have some songs which are from the show, which we're going to hear. What's the first one?
The first song you're going to hear is called Surprise. So in the show, the lead girl, Kathy, she's her fiancé, who's this kind of bad boy. He's been turned into the zombie, and he doesn't like her wearing glasses, so whenever he comes near her, she takes her glasses off, and they're going shopping, and normally he's such a pain, but today he's being a very good shopper. And so she, and here in the Mall, and she and her best friend and her brother are singing Surprise, because he's changed. He's such a nice person now, and of course he's a zombie. And so that her best friend and her brother are surprised that things are going so well, and she's just deliriously happy that her groom is coming alive so close to the wedding.
Okay, next track from Surprise there by Daniel Sturman and R.C. Stubb. And you just a little bit more about that process of writing. So R.C. is more on the book side, is that right? Or is it, again, still, is that not a fair distinction?
Well, when I wrote Zombie Wedding, I kind of drummed up, I had this sort of high concept idea, and I quickly threw it together as a kind of a 2-page outline, wrote about 4 songs for it, and then looked back at what I had, and I kind of realised that what I had kind of had an arc and it made sense, but I didn't like it, and I couldn't really see why I didn't like it, so I had to get a new person in. And actually, I think I might have abandoned the show for a couple of years. Then I went on Mercury Musical Development to try and find a collaborator. I found R.C. Stubb, and I originally wanted to do something else. I wanted to do a musical of Battle Royale, which I now think isn't that great idea for a musical. And R.C. said, well, what else have you got? Because we worked on it together for a little bit. I got this old show called Zombie Wedding, and he read the outline, he read the script, and he heard the songs, and he sort of said, well, these characters are interesting, let's make more of them, let's drop those, let's get rid of the second act, and let's get rid of the farcical FBI agents, I seem to remember, who looked in through the bushes. Right. So basically, R.C. kind of came into Zombie Wedding to fix it, and then we added more songs and more songs and more songs, and I guess you can kind of say he kind of redevised it.
Okay, so I mean, talking about that story, what without perhaps giving away too much of the plot, what basically is what happens in the show?
Right. So there's this really nice guy called Neil. And Neil's best friend, Kat, he kind of secretly is in love with her, and he always has been, and she never really noticed. And so when he was old enough, he finally kind of ran away because he couldn't take being so close to her but yet so far from her. So he went to Haiti to become a pharmacologist and help save the world. And soon his heart pines and he has to come back. And he's come back and he's braver, and he's got a question to ask Kathy. And just as he's about to, she reveals that she's engaged. And she's engaged to this kind of the school bad boy because she's not really moved out of the town. She's stayed in this kind of small world. And Neil's devastated, but he still loves Kathy enough. He's going to stick around and be there for her wedding. That night, he's dragged out to the bar with the groom called Keith. And Keith's not a particularly good groom, and he starts dancing with this mysterious girl, and he gets bitten and it becomes a zombie. And then Neil and Kat's brother Pat, who's a teenager who kind of comes along for the ride, they decide that because Neil's such a nice guy, he has to give Kat the wedding that she wants. So he's going to keep this character alive with some okay. And here comes the high concept with some of this kind of powder he got from Haiti. Yeah. It's so much better than I'm describing it. And the zombie. And then it's a course of keeping this zombie alive for the wedding, keeping it out of trouble, and then eventually Kat and he have a fallout because Kat discovers that Neil's doing something to get at her heart, and that's kind of a bit too close for comfort. So Kat tells Neil to get out of her life, and Neil leaves Keith, and he gets into trouble, and then Kat and then we draw closer to the wedding, and I don't want to spoil the brilliant ending.
Do we have a song from around that or somewhere else in the plot that we might segue beautifully into at this moment?
There's a song called Good Day, and Good Day is this moment when Neil is starting to realise just why he came back to see Kat, and Kat's realising it's a split stage, how wonderful it is to have her best friend back in her life. So it's an unrealising love song for Kat.
Her sudden turn looks deep in your eyes. She takes me away from my daily strain. At times I know my life's insane. We're here, who can complain? Our world might change, but not her and I. It's not enough to have one of your smiles. I think I'm gonna stay here for a little while. And when this feeling finds its way back, then I'll say, today was a good day. Surprise, reconnection, and on reflection, how moments from perfection. When this feeling finds its way back, then I'll say, today was a good day. Today was a good day. Today was a good day. Today was a good day.
Good Day from Zombie Wedding. And we have a third song as well, don't we? What's that?
I Never. Kat's best friend, called Deb, she's a kind of a slag. I can't say that.
Yes, you can say slag.
She's a slag, and this is a kind of an ode to the hard life.
Right.
This is a song in the first act.
I respect the fact that you're your own person. It's hard to be that strong. Exactly. But I never have ever pretended he's smart when he talks of cars and he's bored from the start. And I never have ever stood up by the phone while knowing he's going out while I'm alone. And I never have ever, that's not my tact. I never have ever, that's not my act. I never have have ever let anyone in.
So, and again, without giving too much away, we head to a finale situation, as these things so often do, a climactic moment.
This is the curtain call song.
And presumably, of course, for a zombie musical, presumably they shouldn't actually have a final curtain call. They should just like have the curtain close and then follow you down the streets shortly afterwards. Are you planning anything of that kind?
Brilliant. we had a few. Well, the band are going to be zombied up.
I just have to explain that, sorry, that we're not in a well, actually, we practically are in a graveyard here, which is outside the cathedral in Norwich, and that's why you can hear the beautiful bells behind us.
We're in the shadow of Nelson.
We are, in the very lee of Nelson. Okay, so as the bells dramatically toll for the dead, tell us again about the undead.
What time it is?
They can.
So this finale song, this is after the plot. This is a kind of a celebration. This is what people came to see, I think.
Has been overdue. I've waited all my life for you. Though we are black and blue, we'll have a family living. Pick up the bouquet and the rice. Our honeymoon was worth the price. It will be awful nice having the zombies spreading. The newlyweds are new. You see. When we have kids, will they misbehave? Will they eat the brains of the PTA? Zombie wedding is the start. Without you, it's all new. Who cares if our love's taboo? And with you, it's all new. I'll have some roses to do. Zombies ready, oh. Who cares if our love's taboo? Zombies ready, oh. I'll have some roses together. Zombie, 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 zombie,
So the title song there, Zombie Wedding, from the musical, funnily enough, called Zombie Wedding, which you will find on in Great Yarmouth, October the 18th and 19th at the Pavilion Theatre, Gorleston. And the box office is 01493 662 832, and you can find out all about it at zombiewedding.co.uk.